Hey guys, okay, welcome to the market update for today. Right, so the market today is actually moving in a very bullish position. All right, so if you can take a look at this, okay, over here. All right, S&P 500 today is up, right? And then of course we want to know what is actually driving the rally, over this course of period between say from October all the way high up here. So you can know that previously that we have looked at NVIDIA is actually one of the key driving force. If you can take a look over here, you look at this, NVIDIA has rallied from October, the same period of time, and rallying all the way out here. However, I think that the rally is a little bit unsustainable. Why? Because if you were to take a look at this, right? Where's NVIDIA? Let's take bring up NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Where's the market cap? Okay, let's just adjust the trend itself. Let's look for market capitalization. Yes, market capitalization. So when you look at the market capitalization, you'll be able to know which are the stocks that are moving the market right now. So if you will take a look at that, right, right now you have a few stocks that is moving upwards today. If you look at S&P 500, right, S&P 500 is actually a market cap weighted stock index. So that means the top cap stocks will directly influence the movement of the S&P 500. So if you can see that the Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Google, okay, and these few consist of a lot of other capitalization stocks add up together, right? So if you can notice that the changes today, let me just change this to a percentage change. Okay, percentage change is that, right? So today, change market cap, right? You can see that Microsoft, okay, is moving at 1.56%. That means today Microsoft is actually leading the way. On top of it, we have NVIDIA over here changing at 3.54% together with Amazon. Meta as well rallying 4.4%. And one of the key major news today was actually Intel. Where's Intel? Intel is up 4% today. So there was actually reports that Intel is receiving some additional business from the government to actually protect their security, their chip business. All right. So if you can take a look at here, Intel. Do say that Intel is actually pretty much undervalued stock, because despite them losing business, all right, to AMD, all right, I think Intel is still a very undervalued stock. If you can see that, I've been asking my clients to enter during this period, and yeah, it managed to actually head up over here and break the 200-day moving average, and is heading upwards. I suspect and expect that Intel is likely to cross somewhere around $60 right here. So at $60, if you're holding it, you can sell. But of course, while the rally still continues. So you first have TSMC, or TMC, sorry. Okay. TMC. TSM. Right. So TSMC also rallied today a good 6%. So you can see that right now the tech sector is actually driving the entire market. So how do you look at the tech sector, right? So if you look at the tech sector itself, we have the XLK. So this is actually the ETF, right, for the tech stocks. So you can notice that tech stock has been moving in a very tremendous area. However, you can actually look at the other laggards. So if you look at the other laggards, right, you have like XLF finance was also moving upwards over here because of the speculation that the Fed is likely to lower their interest rates policy. So if Fed reduces their interest rates, that means the banks are likely to benefit in this case. So of course we have other areas like, for example, XLP materials. Materials rallied as well. Okay, you have XLP staples. Staples rallied since October. And XLE energy. Energy, well, still sideways is fine. And you have XLY consumer discretionary. So all in all, that the entire S&P 500, you have almost everybody moving at the same direction. However, it's just that one has higher weights than the other, right? So if you look at the heat map over here, so usually we look at the heat map to understand what is actually moving today. So of course you can see that based on market capitalization, the bigger the box, right, that means the more influence it has on the S&P 500, right? And you can notice that Apple is not moving much today, but Microsoft, Nvidia, Broadcom, Qualcomm, Intel, these guys are moving the market, but the rest of the market seems to be a little bit sideways. So frankly speaking, if you would want to say that if the market is truly bullish, no, it's just the tech sectors. So the tech sectors are the one that is very bullish right now, right? So you can actually take a look at how the market is right now. So because today we have some news that came up, right? Okay, and then we should be expecting the market sectors to change. So let's take a look at the Tiger Broker. We just log on to my Tiger app. Okay, Singapore. Here my number. Usually I use the Tiger app, right, to take a look at the Asian stocks. Alright. Okay. I don't really trade the Asian stocks, right? So I'm just using it for monitoring purposes. Yes, alright. Inside I have only $19. Alright. Over here you can see that the Hang Seng. This is the Hang Seng index. So Hang Seng index right now is actually moving in a very downward trend manner. You can see that. Hey shit, what happened? Nope, I'm not upgrading. Right, so where's my Hang Seng? Yeah, Hang Seng is here. Right, so you can see that Hang Seng index over here is actually moving downwards, hit, and then now it's breaking and test. So right now we in China there is in China there is actually having a meeting to discuss policy changes to China market. So I'm expecting the China government, the Communist Party, right, the CPC is looking to the CCP is very likely to come up with stimulus to aid in their economy status, because currently the China economy is actually in a very bad situation, led by the the real estate sector. The real estate sector is a main key drawdown to in the destruction of wealth in China, because there's so many people having the their properties and they are unable to sell. And then worst of all, the China government, China. Okay, let me just enter. All right, so you can see that the China population growth. So every year is actually dropping tremendously. So if you can notice, okay, over here, okay, if you look at the China world population, look at the bikini photos, right? All right. So if you can notice that the Chinese population growth rate is actually dropping, and right now is near, or in fact at a negative region. So this is actually a very cause of for worry, because the replacement rate. Okay, China population age range, right? So if you can notice, right, here in statistics over here, Statista, right, only necessary. Okay, so if you can notice, right, in this segment, right, we have more and more 15% to about a range of about 15% of the population which is above 65 years old. And this is something very worrying, because if there are more and more elderly pass on and lesser people replaces them, so that means there will be a population drop sooner or later, right? So that means in the next 10 to 15, well, 20, no, 15 years to 20 years time, China population will drop by at least 15%, because the younger population is there won't be sufficient younger population to replace this group of people. That means, why will the GDP be moving, right? So in this case, if let's say if China do not have a population size, okay, because right now China's population is peaking and is heading downwards. What if it actually go back down to 100 million people? Yeah, so what is what I'm actually very worried right now. So you have 140 million people, and then with 140 million people, and then what happens? 10% is about 100, and well, another 14 million gone. So then if that number continues spiral downwards, it might crash the economy of China. Alright, so that's something that I'm actually worrying on, and I'm actually watching very closely. And I doubt that the Chinese government has any power to reverse this situation. Well, similarly to Japan as well. However, right, if you were to notice that, very interestingly, other countries like Germany, okay, they are actually having a not bad growth. Okay, so this is actually a Euro. Okay, Euro population growth. Right, so okay, so over here, right, so you can see that Europe is actually able to manage it pretty well, okay, on the growth rates. Nah, this is not a very good illustration. Worldometer, alright, Europe. Okay, look at macro trends, etc. We put out a few. Alright, so if you can see that Europe is also facing, a plateau of population, right? And their growth rates, of course, actually dropped. Okay, over here. So, but however, you're just looking at just Europe, right? Well, looking at countries by population. Right, so India is still moving up, for sure. Let me see. Which are the countries that are doing well? Okay, I think Germany, from what I last researched, alright, Germany is actually doing not bad, alright. Okay, their growth is still negative, but they're doing not bad. How about the other countries, like Spain is doing not bad as well, right? So the population has been, well, plateauing as well. And also, okay, of course, we are looking at the developing nations. The developing nations itself, well, of course, they are still in the growth stage over here. Where is it? Let me look at France. Right? Okay, you have the UK, and then you have Italy, of course, and United States. Okay, so you look at this, right? UK's, well, growth rate has been dropping very badly. Okay, and sorry, that was France. UK, well, surprisingly, they are still growing. Also, the British are still having sex and producing babies. All right, Italy. Right? Of course, they're in a bad shape. They're having a 0.28% over here. And the United States, well, they are still producing babies, surprisingly. So, of course, with all these people, right, that is still producing babies, China will likely, find some ways to bring these people, try to import them back. So, because, like, for example, how Singapore, where I'm situated right now, Singapore, in Singapore's context itself, right? Singapore suck at our policy to encourage people to give birth. Yeah, mainly due to our high stress, high standard of living. Many of the young couples, right, choose not to give birth, not wanting to bring their kids into this world to suffer. Right, it's that thing. But however, one thing that Singapore did very well is to bring imports people into Singapore. Okay, and one of the very clear context is actually from Malaysia. All right, so you have Malaysia over here. All right, so Malaysia, they're still in a positive rate. They're still bringing people into the world. Over here, you can see that they're still producing. So for Singapore's strategy is that we bring in talents from India, from Malaysia, and from China coming to Singapore to reside and to stay, so that to make up for our population loss. So that's the government's fiscal strategy to make sure that Singapore has sufficient population to survive. Yeah, and recently the government actually was that raised our goods and service tax, okay, to 9%, and also double our property taxes to actually replenish the reserves. Yeah, of course, right now the biggest thing right now is Taylor Swift, right? So today, Taylor Swift is performing in the National Stadium. So, yeah, you can actually see that that the Singapore government did a very good job to clinch the deal with Taylor Swift to make sure that she performs exclusively in Singapore, and that also show that the kind of marketing and strategic mindset the Singapore government has. All right, yeah. All right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna hold on for a while while I go to the washroom and let you guys actually watch the market for a while. All right, be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. All right. Okay, so what I'm actually looking at right now is that the market has, rallied quite a bit today. Um, whether is it time to short it? I don't think so. It'd be stupid to short it. Uh, let's look at the market right now. You see, if you look at the market right now, S&P S&P 500 is like booming up and up, right? I think that it's a little bit overbought. With the tech funds floating in, I don't think it's sustainable. If you look at the over here, right? Okay, if you look at Nvidia, okay, over here, more info. Okay, let's look at the stock, right? So you have the processors, okay, Nvidia, right? So we have the Nvidia Tegra processors that is actually driving 92% of the revenue, which is actually a lot, right? The GPU segment is, is lacking. Right, let me just expand this. Okay, you see. So the GPU only stands about 7%. So actually most of the sales actually come from the Tegra processor, which is the one that they are using to oh wait to power the AI, because I think AI is actually very moving heavily right now, and AI is the focus of how the world is moving. So I think that AI will definitely change the world, but and hardware support is definitely going to be a important component, right? So and the processors is the prices of processors has been like driven crazily high because of the lack of supply, right? So if you have friends inside the AI's segment and they are holding on to some precious stocks, and that will likely translate that into revenue growth, right? So if you can take a look at the revenue over here, right? Over here you can see that their revenue projection is like this, right? So the question is, can they sustain this revenue growth? Yeah, so that's a big question, right? So I'm not sure that do we have the TNA the TSMC, you have Intel coming in to compete into this, right? I think based on economics, the supply will definitely slowly catch up to the demand, and then margins will be compressed and so on and so forth. I think I don't think they will hit the revenue growth target over here. Right, so this is where the driver analysis. Yeah. All right. So you can see that the revenue from data centers and platforms and systems. All right. Historical forecast, the matrix rule, rationale, automobile segment. NVIDIA has been building on that automotive computing system in addition to this infotainment cockpit business, right? So it's actually working with business developing self-driving technologies. So I think that this is actually one of the key driver that right now NVIDIA is having. All right, so well, whether they are they able to sustain this revenue growth, that's going to be another question. So let's take a look at their price to earnings. PE. Usually, I always like to look at the PE to have a gauge over here. Let's remove the unnecessary data. Alright, so if you look at NVIDIA right now, it's a 76. Well, it's actually pretty high, to be honest. So if you look at it, right, okay, Microsoft is at 36, Apple is at 26, which is actually pretty undervalued given the current market conditions. NVIDIA 71, 76, right? Amazon 61, Meta is at 33, decent. Google, surprisingly, they are at a 20-year range, which is I'm quite surprised. Eli Lilly and Com 135. We have Broadcom at 42. Tesla at 41. Tesla is surprisingly in the past we're actually looking at them at 71, 72 range. Now they are able to match up to the revenue growth. JP Morgan is at 11, which is wow. a lot more cheaper than expected. Walmart, Visa, right? UNH. I'm actually pretty interested to look at UNH because recently they actually gotten beaten down, right? Let's take a look at UNH. Right, so they recently got beaten down because they actually launched antitrust suits against their monopoly, but because we are in a business of government healthcare, so they actually kind of dominate the entire system. So, oh wow, I won't be surprised that their earnings actually grew from here because of COVID. So, whether their earnings will actually grow and sustain, well, that's going to be another question. But because healthcare is always a stable business over here. So you can take a look at it in the past. All this rally over here from here to here is actually due to the medical inflation. So medical inflation literally drives the stock price of this stock, right? So if let's say you enter further, am I looking at UNH, right? So yeah, Mastercard, while Exxon is at 12, all right? J&J at 30, etc. So AMD, AMD, what the hell? Seriously, AMD is being, oh man, seriously, from October all the way shooting up, to here, October to now. It's what the hell? It's doubled, man. Isn't it overbought? This is downright ridiculous, lah. Seriously, I think that I don't think that AMD is worth that much. Let's take a look at AMD. All right, AMD Market Watch. Okay, AMD. There's more details, more info. By the way, the platform I'm using is actually Thinkorswim, so if anybody is interested, you can actually Google them. And that, they'll be acquired by Charles Schwab. Yep. Right. So anyway, over here, right, if you can see that the over here, well, their revenue from the computing is also rallying. But however, you can see that between 2022 to 2023, it's actually flat. So their revenues is expected to grow, okay, in years to come because they have been gaining the market shares from Intel. Okay, so I think that, but however, looking at a 400 times PE, well, I think it's way too bloody overvalued. All right, Merck is at 900. What the hell is with Merck? Seriously? MRK. Merck and Co. Merck is at such high valuation. Why? Can anybody tell me why Merck is at 900? Well, that's something that I want to short. Because if you take a look at this segment, well, 900, right? So that means very likely when the market retraces, it might actually push Merck down faster than expected because, well, it's just way overvalued. They just followed the entire trend and just boom, everybody went up together. Yeah, so, well, that's something to look at. Right, Oracle, Salesforce is at 300. Oh, come on, man. Netflix is at 600. Adobe is at 500. Sorry, no. Salesforce is at 115. Oh, I looked at the wrong segment. It's actually this. Fuck. Just now it says Salesforce. Right. Salesforce at 115, which is still overvalued. Yeah, Merck is really overvalued. He's at 900. What the fuck? Yeah, and over here 115 for Salesforce. Netflix at 50, decent. for a decent, not bad for a Netflix tech company. Adobe, okay, 40. So you can see that Walt Disney, I think Disney is pretty dead because of the Apple TV, no, the Disney Plus. I think that Disney Plus is actually pretty bad move. They are trying to give valuation, but however, it's kind of diluted the Marvel brand, and then the Marvels are starting to lose the viewers' attention, right? So, mm, so overall speaking, right, you can see that the S&P 500 itself, right, is kind of, I would say, overvalued right now. So, but nonetheless, right, because when the bull market is going up, I think the market will just follow. Right. So I think the strategy right now is not to go long. I think it's stupid to go long right now. I think that it's important to go on a strategy to sell puts and sell calls instead. Yeah. I think that you got to sell calls, but the question is when we sell. I mean, right now it's not a time to sell calls, and I think that it might be moving sideways a little bit. The indicators are still showing a very strong trend going on. So I think that as of now, no point shorting. Yeah, there's nothing you should be doing right now. You're too late. Well, if you haven't long, you're not long yet. Too late, right? So my USOI position is profitable. I'm making $48 on my USOI. Yeah, I'm not looking to short anything. I think that right now the market is still too bullish, and I don't think I should be taking any option positions against the equity market. Yeah. So, and then we can actually look at the oil market. What happens to oil? All right, oil is still moving in a very sort of this kind of pattern. Which is good. While I'm long on oil, oil ETFs. So, of course, I hope that it can actually go up. And one thing I'm actually looking at is actually the TLT. Yeah. Alright, so actually looking at TLTs. So if let's say TLT is moving here, $3, right? And let's right now resisted by 200 moving average. And let's put in some stop. Alright. Okay. Well, I should be going long on the. Let me just add one. Then I start instead. Here. Alright. So if you can see that the over here, the TLT, I want a long, right? But however, I think it's the wrong time to go long on TLT. Well, I should be going somewhere around here to wait for a turn, then I'll go long on TLT. And the key reason why I want to enter TLT is because I want to be long on treasuries because of the expectation that the Fed will cut interest rate this year. However, if you look at the CPI report, it's not exactly doing so. So let's take a look at CPI reports. Holy shit. Not now. So where's the CPI report? CPI report usually is at the week 2. PMI report, oh, we are having non-farm payrolls tomorrow, by the way. So you have the CPI month on month over here. Okay, you can take a look at the CPI report, right? So in the first, 3 years over here, this is where the interest rate is, where it keep going all the way up, but right now it's actually kind of stabilizing at about 0.3 percent on the CPI report, right? So if it actually maintains and go back down to 1 year, uh, less than 2%, okay, to about 2%, which is uh, the central bank's mandate, and then they will start to drop interest. So, however, if they were to drop interest rates and then it spikes up, they're gonna halt it again, and to keep the interest rate at a elevated level, right? So, well, I think that it's normal to hold it at this range, yeah. So my longer term take is that the interest rate is very likely to drop this year, right? So if this year interest rate drops and then the employment report remains positive, yes, I think the U.S. central bank is very likely to decrease the interest rates over here. So overall wise, I think that the in Asia, uh, I think I'm still long China. Uh, okay, long China. I'm gonna long on the treasuries. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything for the U.S. stock market because the U.S. stock market itself, like you say, like you showed previously, is way too bullish. Yeah, so well, you're too late to the game. Don't enter. I think if you're entering, you might be the suckers that uh, you know get the dump from everybody. All right, bad choice. And then we can be looking at what was that? Oil. Your oil seems pretty okay. So you can look at oil. Let's see. Yep. However, of course, let's look at gold. Gold actually recently hit a high. You look at this. Shit, man. Where gold just shot through the roof, so whoever shorted it gonna die big time. You can look at it. Gold hits a all-time high. So this is also a divergent situation, right? So you have gold moving up together with the equity market, which is very, 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 very weird because gold is supposed to be like the contrarian indicator, whereby fear indicator, right? And well, gold just right? So that's something to look at. But of course, they are also looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself, is also breaking highs together with the gold market. So they might be looking at both markets, both Bitcoin and gold moving in tandem. So while it's still in a very early stage, I think that we won't be able to tell whether what kind of correlation factor that gold and Bitcoin has, right? So well, that's about all for today, right? So I will be likely posting my market views very a lot more frequently. And if you're interested, do hit subscribe and see you guys.